Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
We slum it hard so you don't have to.
No, see, you can't do that.
Party on, Phil.
you can't go like this.
Oh.
at the end.
Yeah, you have to. That's
No.
how you do it. That's showbiz.
Aaron made
No.
some inappropriate hand signals on the podcast.
I'm sure it was intentional.
Oh, yeah.
Was
I'm sure it
driving
was
today?
intentional, and I'm
Do you guys
Good
flip
job.
people off
Good
when
job,
you're driving?
Cole. Occasionally. And then I'm always
Yeah.
like, I bet they didn't even see it. That was
I don't
such a
have like
waste.
strong feelings about it, but I feel like some people are like completely scandalized by it. Like
I feel
you
like if
flip
someone
somebody
flipped me off, it wouldn't bother me all that
Yeah.
much. I'd be like, oh, that
It's
guy's
almost
an
not
idiot.
meaningful enough to even bother flipping someone off.
Yeah.
I was flipped off recently, and it was not while driving, and the finger itself was not the issue. The issue was that the gentleman, everything else about his countenance was very angry.
Did you
oh,
have truck
yeah.
nuts?
No, he
But
was
did
in
it
some-
bother you that he was angry?
No, honestly, the only thing I would have laughed, but
Uh-huh.
my son was in the car, and my son
Oh,
was like,
yeah, yeah.
he was like, Dad, why is that man so angry? He's angry
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
you, Dad. He's angry at you. Why
He's
is he
like, now someone else finally knows how I feel.
Validated.
I'm not alone in this world.
Whatever happened, I'm on that guy's team.
So
Yeah.
what was it? What did you do?
I think it was a perceived wrong of, I
Cut him
put
off.
I put on my blinker and made the turn like any red-blooded middle-aged man in a minivan, and this guy in his like freaking Trans Am or whatever. If it wasn't a Trans Am, it was a Trans Am type of car.
He thought you weren't like fast enough
Trans
or
Am
what?
adjacent.
Yeah, I think it was like, yes, Trans Am adjacent. Yeah, I think it was like I think he was going like super
Were you turning
fast.
right or left?
I was turning into the left lane to turn into to make a left hand
So you
turn.
weren't turning yet. You were like,
Right, but I had to get over, and
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like going like, and so I
mhm.
moved over, and if he was going a reasonable speed,
It would have been fine. Yeah.
I don't think he would have perceived that I was cutting him off, but
Mhm.
because he was going like 90 in a
Yeah, yeah.
45,
I get it.
and so yeah, I know. I mean, who hasn't
You
been
know,
there when they were?
you know what
19
makes
years
people
old?
really mad is this happens to me a lot. Well, where I used to live, there's right by the Target. There's like a double left turn lane. You know.
Yes,
So there's two
yes.
left turns, and people go on the inside left turn,
Mhm.
but I always go on the outside left turn, which is
Right.
technically like
Okay.
the first left turn lane, like closest to the straight lanes. But when you turn, they're inside and you're outside, right? And they always want to like shift into like the far right lane when they turn left, but you don't let
Yes,
them,
they
and
just
they get
drift.
really upset about
Right.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I've been flipped off
And
many
then you-
times just for
then you-
staying in my lane.
do you roll down the window and say, "Pick your lane"? Do you say that?
I say,
Here's my favorite. Oh, what do you say?
I don't know. I was gonna make something up, but
Okay. Here's my favorite. Like the last time and it was definitely somebody very young, like was super like aggressive and upset with me.
like a
I-
Gen Z, a Zoomer.
Yes. I make eye contact with them, but stare
Mhm.
like completely blankly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't smile, I don't frown. I want them to know I hear them and I am receiving all of what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I like lock eyes with them and stare like just with my mouth like slightly open.
And then
And
you like
for
stick
some
your tongue
reason-
out a little bit.
No.
Like-
But for some reason, no, I don't do that. For some reason, giving zero emotion, Like
Yeah.
making sure that they know I do see and hear them, but giving them zero feedback.
Your dumbness does not affect me right now.
That makes people so upset. Like it makes them more upset. Like I'm not getting you're not going to react to all of my rage at you.
Yeah.
You're not going to emote back to me.
Yeah, I usually do like a big cheesy smile and wave.
I've done that before.
People do that.
My buddy Oliver used to go when somebody would flip him off, he'd go with a big smile, which I think is funny. But
that's a thumbs up for those who are listening to the
audio
visual
media.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I was also driving today, but I didn't get flipped off.
Nice, bro.
Yeah. Remember when driving was like an exciting thing?
Yes.
You're like, no, Mom, I'll go to the store.
Yeah.
I'll go pick that up for you.
Mm-hmm.
You need gas? Let me go get gas. Never again.
I mean, that's kind of how it was in the early days of quarantine for me. Because I was working from home full time, you know.
Yeah.
I'm actually just working from home. I'm only going into the office one day a week now, permanently.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Yeah, which is kind of sweet.
They're like, listen, we feel bad about firing you, but just please don't come back here.
Yeah.
He's like, the cake, they just keep asking you to pass the cake down, but you're like, last time I did not receive a piece.
I made Fernand in the building.
That's an underrated movie, I think, at this point.
Is it underrated though?
No. It's not
I think
underrated.
I think it's like not
It just
not that it so it's not that people like say it sucks. It's just I don't hear it talked about when people are like talking about really funny movies all that often.
No, Aaron.
I think in our very specific generation, like our age plus or minus 5 years, it's really popular.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I still hear more like Super Bad. I don't know.
No,
that's because
younger
you hang out
kids.
with young people.
Yeah, that's because
Super Bad or Caddyshack.
That's
see, like my
Those are the
freshman
two.
year, that was
I've never
seen
seen Caddyshack.
freshman year. That was a very popular movie. Caddyshack is good. Caddyshack's overrated, probably. I would say. I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for saying that, but like people like to remember. It's like everything.
The bar was
It's like-
lower in the 70s, maybe, or the 80s.
Yeah,
when it
Yeah,
came
it's
out.
like when
No,
people say that, like, oh, if Wilt Chamberlain played with LeBron, he'd be way better than him. It's like, are you kidding me? Just look at LeBron. The dude's a freak. Like,
Caddyshack.
everybody is so much better now than they were back then,
yeah.
and LeBron's even better than all of them. I know I'm talking like 5 years ago or something, but
is
like
is
people
Caddyshack
remember stuff more fondly than it is.
Is Caddyshack the Rolling Stones of comedy movies, or is it the Beatles of comedy movies?
No, it's like well, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
I've
I don't
never
know.
seen
It's
it,
like a pretty
so.
popular.
I feel like what I mean by that is I
maybe like The
understand that
Who
at
or
the time
something.
it was. I understand that at the time it was groundbreaking and revolutionary, and it is good in its own right.
It is a very funny
However-
movie. I might be like biased by just like not really liking Chevy Chase,
Yeah.
just because like he's
Interesting.
kind of a jerk in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to like separate that once you know that about somebody. Like,
Oh, yeah.
especially for him, it's not even that he's a jerk, because there are people who are like jerks to some people, like, but even like his colleagues don't even want to work with him.
Bill
really,
Murray's kind
I
of the
think.
same way, right? Like people used to hate
Who's
working
that?
with Bill Murray. Bill Murray, who's also in Caddyshack.
Yeah,
Do people
maybe.
not wanna work
Yeah,
with Bill
maybe
Murray?
so.
Yeah, I feel like he has a really bad reputation for like not being a good worker, like a good person to work with.
But is that just because he's okay? That might be just because he's so eccentric, though.
Yeah,
I feel like
maybe.
Chevy Chase is like actively like mean to people.
Yeah, maybe. Bill Murray's funnier though than
Yeah.
Chevy Chase, so he gets a pass. Did you guys ever see Dirty Work? Do you remember that movie, Dirty Work?
I was just
Yes.
quoting it today.
I was thinking of
that-
Norm Macdonald today, for obvious
Yeah.
reasons, but
It's really so we're recording this on the day that Norm Macdonald passed away, which is like
Yeah, dude.
it's
Never
like
forget.
super sad. He's genuinely my favorite comedian of all time.
Yeah, I would say like Mitch Hedberg is maybe my favorite stand-up,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but like overall, yeah, his Weekend Update stuff.
His
and
Weekend
his,
Update
like,
stuff,
movie
but
roles.
also like all of
Aaron,
his.
why don't you give us your favorite Mitch Hedberg joke?
This is not. It's
I'm
not the
sorry,
time.
don't give
I
it
mean,
to us. Explain it to us.
explain it to you.
Don't deliver the joke. Just explain the joke.
I like
was
the one
actually-
about where the guy goes into the store and he's buying a bunch of apples, and the clerk asks him if he wants a bag for the apples, and he says, "No, I juggle, but I can only juggle 8 apples. So if you ever see me in here buying 9 apples, bag them up."
Bag him up. That's like I was just about to quote a Mitch Hedberg joke a couple minutes ago because in the inner circle, Ryan posted this post about this pedal company that contacted him. Did you guys see that? Maybe he doesn't want me to.
I've been offline for a while, for like the last hour or
Is
so.
it? Okay.
For me, that's a
Well,
while.
hopefully he doesn't care if I. that's... But
Just
maybe
cut
I
out the
shouldn't
part where
reveal
he
his
said-
secrets because it's in the inner circle. But
Cut out
it's
the
this
part where
pedal
he said
company.
Ryan, and then just say, "I saw
This-
somewhere." on
I'm
the
not
internet."
cutting anything out, so
I know. It's this pedal company that reached out and he says, "Hey, I wanted to we just did an event and we have a batch of reverb pedals that we're giving away for free." But it says given away for free. We are giving away GIVEN. You can get dozens or even hundreds of them, but the pedals have a defective rate of 5 to 10%. And so I was going to be like, it seems like they're saying, "Here, you throw these away."
yeah. And the sound is a bit problematic. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and that's what's great. Like the sound is problematic. What does that mean? Like it has like unpopular ideas about minorities or something like that.
Okay, there was a show. This is going to be a great. This is going to be a great tangent. Back in the early 2000s, there was a cable show that was 2 guys reviewing video games. One was very
Siskel and
skinny, one
Ebert
was very
at the
large.
movies.
No,
At the movies
No,
with Siskel
video
and Ebert.
games.
Yeah.
video games. And
Yeah, they review video games.
at the time I was not playing video games regularly, but I love this show so much. These guys were super funny, and it was like definitely had a public ass vibe, at least initially, and then it got more and more popular.
Yeah, it's called
And at one
X-Play.
point- Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
No, X-Play
Well-
was like on. That was like the huge. That was like
So-
on G4.
Oh yeah.
At one point, they got popular enough. They're like, we have a sponsor, and it was somebody sent them it was like 50 of some, I can't remember what it was. It was something like kind of the equivalent of the Nintendo Power Glove. It was that kind of a thing that was like,
Oh
but it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
Something around the 2000s, right? And so they were like, so we don't know what their intention was, but they sent us 50 of these things, and so we've decided we want you to write us a letter telling us why you deserve all 50 of these. And it was like, what are you going to do if you get all 50 of them? And then we will send you all 50. Like the company never said, we want you to send it to 50 people, but because they didn't, these guys were just being jerks. And they're like, we're going to send all of them to one person. So you have to tell us what you'll do with them. And then they would read the letters of what people said they were going to do. And they'd laugh. And it just became this stupid joke that was like them trying to it seemed like they were actively trying to undo the fact that people were giving them sponsoring them, which was made it so much more funny.
It's funny that you mentioned that because that was a popular bit on Norm's TV show. it was a podcast, but it was like a video podcast that was aired on
Yeah.
HBO or something like that.
Gosh,
And he had a
was so
sponsor
funny,
called
too.
the Man Grate.
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember the Man Grate?
Okay.
No, I think
And
you
they would
talked
just,
about this
like-
before, though.
They would read the copy for it, but they would just make fun of it the whole time.
Yeah.
And eventually they pulled their sponsorship.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it
That's-
was like, I'm
fantastic.
sure a bunch of people bought it. Like they were honest about it. Yeah, that was good times.
Man,
yeah,
let's
but Norm,
give him his flowers, though.
my
Norm,
favorite thing that he would do,
You were funny.
I mean, he was amazing, but every time he would go on late night talk shows, it's like it was him and the host
hmm
were like the only two people that were in on the joke, and it was like he was making fun of the entire concept of a late night talk show.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
instead of telling just
Mhm.
like anecdotes from his life, he would tell like these old like farmer's daughter jokes and stuff like that. you
Yeah.
know? Like some old prospector type jokes and like just ridiculous. Go look up the moth joke. It's very
What was
popular.
that?
There's a good chance you've seen
I'm
it.
trying to remember the TikTok recently
When I-
of like his 9/11 joke
When
that
I-
was like it's just so
It's
funny.
The 9/11 Airlines.
Maybe.
When I typed in,
The
when
one
I
they're like,
typed in
oh no,
Norm
is the one
Macdonald-
when he's like, he says JetBlue got #1 for customer satisfaction. You know who
Oh,
got
yeah.
last place? 9/11 Airlines. He's like that
And then
reminds me of
he's
that
like-
tragedy. And then when
and then
Adam
he's like,
starts
"Why are you
laughing,
laughing?"
yeah, he's like,
he goes,
I
"Why are
walked
you
through blood
laughing?"
I walked through blood and bones in Manhattan trying to find my brother. He was in northern Canada at the time.
That's
I-
too much.
So a buddy of mine sent me a Norm Macdonald clip, and he was like, "This is my favorite bit," and I was like, "Dude, like it was mildly funny," and then I immediately Googled Norm Macdonald, and the first thing that came up was Norm Macdonald moth. By the way,
Yeah,
It was one
dude.
of the
Did you
first
listen?
things.
Did you watch
but
it?
no, because I was looking for something specific, which is Norm Macdonald, closeted gay,
Oh yes, that
And-
one. That one
on
is
Larry,
that's the one.
Larry King.
Like, no, I'm
Oh
deeply closeted.
my-
Like you're gay?
gosh.
No, of course
Yeah, he
not.
goes, "Wait,
I
he
said I'm
goes,
closeted.
are you revealing
So
something
that
right
is-
now?" And he goes, "No, I'm
I'm
very
a deeply
closeted." And he
gay
goes,
man.
"But you just said you're
He's like,
closeted,
no.
which means
Deeply
you're
closeted.
gay." And he goes, "No." I said, "I'm deeply closeted." He just
That's
keeps,
like-
he keeps saying it, and
Every
Larry King
Norm clip
cannot
that
wrap
pops
his
up.
mind around. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he just doesn't get it. Well, you can tell, like
He
Larry
cannot
King.
wrap his
It's like
mind
he'll go
around
on Conan or Letterman, and they know exactly what he's doing, but Larry King just doesn't get it. You know,
Mhm.
like he's
Right,
used to
right,
kind
yes.
of like he's a good interviewer, but it's like
Larry
all
King.
just
I don't
very,
know
like,
if
by
I
the
can never
book.
tell if he's like
Maybe-
in on it or not.
Yeah,
Like there's
I
that
don't think he is,
Seinfeld.
because
that
he went on
Seinfeld
he
clip
went on
too,
Norm's
you know?
podcast. What's that?
See, the thing is, Larry.
The
Larry
Seinfeld
King-
one where he's like, "You got canceled,
yeah,
right?"
that's weird.
And he's like, "You think I got canceled?"
No, he doesn't
Like,
even say
no.
that. He says that's what's funny because like Jerry Seinfeld is like so defensive, and Larry
Oh, yeah.
King, he's like, "You canceled the show yourself, right? You didn't get canceled." And he's like, "You
Yeah,
think I got
yeah.
canceled?" He's like, "No, I literally just said the opposite, you idiot." Like he's so defensive about it. I think he regrets stopping the show. Honestly, Jerry Seinfeld. He's another one that like over time I like less.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
he
as
kind
time
of
goes on.
yeah,
the show's still really funny
He's-
though.
Oh yeah.
but he I think he lost. I mean, you could say relevance, you could say clout. Like, I understand that in there's still in some circles like he's very much like the guy, but like there was a time where he was Michael
I feel
Jordan
like he
famous.
still has an insane amount of like he had his comedians in cars getting coffee or whatever. Like
Yeah.
he could have had anyone he wanted on that show and they would have gone
Right.
on it.
Yeah, but again, that
He probably
show,
has
like,
less street cred now than he did before or
Yes.
whatever. like comedy fans probably don't
Right.
care about him as much. I don't know.
I mean,
It's
he's
interesting.
definitely not
You know,
like
here's
hip.
part of it.
Yeah.
Here's part of it. It's weird because like if I ask my students, do you know what Seinfeld is, or who Seinfeld is? I'm guessing maybe one or two per.
Yeah, but that's because
class
teenagers are
would say
idiots.
But here's my point though. My point is like they all know Friends, not because Friends is good, but because Friends was on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't understand why Seinfeld never signed that deal. He could have.
Well, it
Or
was on
whoever owns
Hulu.
it. I'm sure it must be him,
Yeah.
right? Hulu
I don't know. Maybe it's Larry David. I don't
sucks.
Well, I'm just
The
saying,
big
like
one.
that's why it
Hulu
wasn't
does
on
suck.
both.
know.
Probably.
Speaking of like a comedian fall from grace, how about John Mulaney in the last couple months?
oh yeah,
That has
Did he?
been like meteoric.
Bro.
Has he fallen from grace?
Dude, he went from like
Dude.
being kind of the sort of good guy, like what's the word I'm thinking
Yeah.
of? Just like the sweetheart,
clean-
of
Boy
everyone's
Next Door?
eyes, you know. What's that?
Yeah.
Boy Next Door.
Yeah, kind of. And talked, he was married and loved his wife and everything, to then getting divorced. He got a freaking Olivia Munn pregnant, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, she got herself pregnant.
I mean, yeah.
She's an adult.
Yeah. That's not how that works, Aaron. I mean, is that the problem this whole time?
She got herself pregnant with him.
Was that your problem this whole time?
They
you don't
together.
know. You don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but like he went from he had his issues with addiction again,
Yeah.
which is like sad.
Yeah.
If that's what led to his marriage ending, it's like understandable, but it's also very sad.
Yeah.
But then the fact that he, together with Olivia Munn, created a fetus
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
really
see?
regretting.
very soon after
I'm
is like
I'm really regretting that I didn't save this and send it
the
to you
optics
guys.
are pretty
I
bad.
saw this TikTok. This woman says, "Okay, so I've got this theory. My theory is that John Mulaney and Pete Davidson are in a Freaky Friday body switching scenario." She goes, "Let me explain." And she starts talking about how they've been best friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So Pete Davidson was having a hard time with his image, and on this one particular, I'm not sure if it was SNL or something, they switched clothing, and then she shows a photo of the two of them wearing each other's clothes and like posing like the other. And she goes, "I think the moment this photograph was taken, their bodies were switched, and the one continued living. Each of them continued living in the other's bodies, and from this moment on, their behaviors changed from this." And she describes Pete Davidson.
Are you frozen or is that me?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Someone froze
Come
while
on,
telling the
he
story,
divorced
and
his wife.
the other guy was
He's
eating
been
nuts,
pregnant.
and I was
Uh,
left here alone.
And
We missed a lot because you froze. for
Zoom
like-
was tired of you
a full
recounting a
minute.
TikTok, Phil.
Yeah,
Every
explain
time
to
I try
me
to
the
tell-
TikTok. Every time you try to explain a TikTok,
yeah,
did you see the
Here's
TikTok
here's
about
the weird thing, though.
how never
It's like
mind.
across the board. Maybe not across the board. People see this as like a negative thing.
Mm,
see what?
This whole like him getting divorced
mhm.
and then getting pregnant.
I think
with
it's
Olivia
great.
Munn.
I don't know.
What if
Like,
if
it's
his
not
wife
a-
was abusive?
Yeah. What if I just
I
like
mean,
finished my
that's-
thought that I was trying to make?
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
It is weird how like I don't know. I guess we apply our own morals or something, right?
Yeah,
Like he was like a deep alcoholic for like his teens and 20s,
yeah.
and he talks about that. So like obviously, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing that like we like to put people up on a pedestal, even though we're all like screwed up in some ways, and nothing
Yeah.
that's happened to him in recent days has necessarily indicated that he is somehow immoral, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, if I applied my
people
own
get
morals to
divorced
it,
all the time.
Like I wouldn't make some of those same decisions, but like that's not his,
Yeah.
he hasn't like hurt anybody or something, This is weird.
I'm
Because
sure his wife's feelings are hurt.
maybe
I'm not
she
sure.
like hated him or something. I don't know. Like,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, it is interesting though, because I think universally, like the reaction to much of that has been so universally negative,
Yeah, I mean, it seems fair to say that most people who get divorced, it's not like
Yeah,
a
like,
shocker
it's not,
to them. Like they saw it coming for a while. So I mean, not that she's not unhappy.
I mean, if the
about it,
assumption
but
is
I
that
don't
he
know.
was cheating on her before they actually got divorced or something, like that would
No,
be
here's
a
the
huge
formula.
bummer.
Here's the formula that people react to. People do not react to, oh, this person divorced this person, or these people got divorced. What they react to is this person got divorced and
so that he
immediately
could go be with this movie
immediately is dating this very attractive
star model or whatever.
movie star. I mean,
Yeah.
yes,
This very
personality.
beautiful movie star woman,
Yes.
famous.
She
So,
has been. in
Brad Pitt
movies,
and
yes.
Jennifer Aniston get divorced and immediately. What did he say? What did you say? Aaron?
She has been in movies.
But Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston get divorced, and immediately
Brangelina,
he's
as
dating
we call her.
Angelina Jolie, and people were like, "Homewrecker," right? Like not
Yeah.
like
Well, I mean, they met, and I mean, I don't know, Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
Smith. He was still married to Jennifer Aniston.
But also, like, it's
so
Brad
he met
Pitt.
somebody. He met somebody, Aaron.
It was like I left
during
I left
the
this
working
company.
relationship.
And had a new girlfriend. Yes.
I left this company that I was working for, and I was gonna like buy the company,
Yeah.
and then
I loved it so
went-
much. I bought the.
And I didn't even have another job lined up, but then I found another job pretty quickly. And my boss wrote me this email that was like, "You going and leaving sound design and going to work for the competitor is the second most painful experience of my life." And it's like it's the same. Well, and that like I've
Was he
told this
like?
before.
He's like. This is the worst, the most disrespectful thing. Well, except for that other thing, that hurts the most.
Well, have I not told you guys
but
this?
you leaving
Hurts the
hurts the second most.
Except for that other thing. Yeah.
But you,
Like, you know what
getting
hurts
a
the
new
most?
job hurts the second most.
You know what hurts the most is the disrespect.
The
Speaking of
lack-
dirty work, you guys got a
Well,
lot of
except for
growing
that
up to
other
do.
thing. But the lack of respect hurts second most. I used to quote that all the time. That's my favorite.
I think you have
It's such
to
a-
remind us because I'm not
Hey.
remembering. What was the
No,
first
his
thing?
He goes
his
to jail. He goes to
No,
jail.
not
and,
the movie. Cole's personal experience.
And he comes out and he says, "Oh,
He isn't even out of jail. He's just back into the normal
yeah,
cell,
in like the holding
in
tank.
like the holding tank. or whatever.
Remember when he goes, "Hey, that's my shirt." Oh no, not you. I was talking to some other guy
Some other guy.
because the dude's like full hairy.
Yeah.
Gun Street Wiring Shop represents a brand new approach to the guitar wiring market. From their nothing is impossible philosophy to their community first attitude, Gun Street Wiring Shop is the premier maker of guitar wiring harnesses. Based in Central Oregon, Gun Street only does one thing: make your guitar sound and play better. Bored with your standard switching? Gun Street. Need more options? Gun Street. Looking to nail that classic tone? Gun Street. You want to try something that's never been done before? Gun Street. Sean's always coming up with new circuit designs. He's always down to make something special to fit your exact needs. So hit him up now, gunstreetwiringshop.com. Turn your SG into an OMG, your Les Paul into a More Paul, your Telecaster into a Telestar Blaster. And as always, members of the Street Crew get an extra discount at everything at gunstreetwiringshop.com.
Okay, so for more context, his son murdered his wife, and is in
Like the son's wife?
the son's wife, yeah, and tried to murder his father-in-law, and was not successful, but shot him a bunch of times,
Jeez.
and then tried to shoot himself in the gun jam.
So that's the worst thing.
That's the worst, and he knows.
Whoa.
Like,
He knows
that's
that you
what
know
he's
that.
specifically referencing. So he's saying, like, next to that, you just quitting and going and getting another job is the worst thing in my life. And it was exactly that same deal where in his mind it was like, well, he was like a manipulative bully jerk, you know, but also like he saw it as me like somehow being unfaithful or something, you know, even though it was like I didn't have a job and then they reached out to me and offered me a job. Like, you know, what am I supposed to do? It's like Brad Pitt, like I broke up and I also happen to be the most desirable man on the planet. Like, I'm going to find someone else to date, you know?
And I spent all this time with this woman working hard. Hardly working.
I get the public perception. Like, see, like that Jennifer Aniston to Angelina Jolie, like they're both in like similar like strata, you know, in the world. Like I think part of what makes people mad is that
it's definitely a Ginger Mary.
Well, they're at least situation. Like they're both like famous actresses and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about John Mulaney. He was married to somebody who wasn't famous at all because they got married before either of them was famous.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the perception is that he dumped her for this super hot movie star or whatever, you know. So I think that might be part of the perception.
Yeah.
I
think big part of it is like people just act like they know these people. Like they feel like, so you're like, weird. Well, that like, because his comedy's so like clean cut or whatever, you're like, I know him, he's a nice guy, and then he's not acting like a nice guy, so I'm
but like comedians offended. Like their comedy is never like, you know, it's like rarely a reflection of who they actually are.
But that's the same with like artists too. I mean, it's like, but I think because comedy you tend to think it's like more autobiographical maybe because it's like first person,
which it probably is narrative, you know, like it's largely from their own experiences and stuff, but then they make up a lot of it too, you know.
It's just unhealthy connection to celebrity.
Like it's not like there was actually a guy named Who on first, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Why? I mean, now there could be.
Why couldn't there have been
the
before?
barrier's been because back then they only let white people play.
Well, they still had baseball like in Japan and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Could Who be a Japanese name?
It's Korean maybe.
Yeah, that's
you think who are they? Siskel and Ebert were going to Japan to watch baseball games in the 1910s or whatever.
They're doing research for their racist sketches
for their game show or video game show,
whatever it was. Abbott and Costello, is that who it was?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it wasn't Siskel and Ebert.
Skinny guy, fat guy.
Did you say Siskel and
Ebert? They're the ones who did Who's on First, right?
Yeah. Oh man, Roger Ebert, I loved him. He's a great writer.
We gotta come up with another movie for my kids to watch. Do you guys think? Have you guys seen Men in Tights recently?
It's been a while.
Maybe we should all watch that.
Been a while.
I think it's like a solid PG-13 movie.
My brother watched it with his kids. Connor, my one who's just
I would watch it with a kid who's like 10 to 12, maybe.
Yeah, that's my kids are 10 and 13.
No, if I was you, I'd be more concerned about getting pissed on. It's so weird to me that Dave Chappelle is in that movie.
It is very weird.
Because at the time when I saw the movie, I had like Dave Chappelle. I had no idea who that was. Like
exactly,
he wasn't Dave Chappelle. He was just the guy who plays.
And even when you go back and watch it, you're like, I'm 99% sure that's Dave Chappelle. But is this going to be like some? It's going to be like a Samuel L. Jackson, Lawrence Fishburne scenario where
dude, Dave Chappelle,
like racist for thinking that's
Dave Chappelle's in You've Got Mail.
Yes,
that's weird.
You know that? That's weird.
I think there was a time. I mean, all performers, maybe not all a lot of performers have that time where they're like, listen, I was saying yes to anything I was getting offered. And, you know, then they get like, they start to get a style and a vibe, and then they can be choosy. But like, it's like, I want to be able to eat, and I want to pay my rent.
I think that's part of it, but I think it also, for at least like for him, it almost seems like, you know, you get an agent and you're like, you're trying to break in, and they're like, this movie is going to get you. It's a big movie with movie stars, so you're going to get seen. It's going to like increase your career. Or whatever.
And you like want to try stuff. I mean, you don't know going into a movie if it's going to be bad or not, you know?
Yeah, maybe he loved being in You Got Mail.
Dude, it's weird to think he was in Half Baked too. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But that feels like
no, he was like the main guy in Half Baked.
It was him and Jim Brewer was in it too. Jim Brewer
Yeah,
was a big
dude. Did
deal
you
at
see?
that time?
He just came out like yesterday and was like said that he's gonna refuse to play anywhere that has like a vaccine mandate, any venue that has a vaccine
Jim
mandate.
Brewer did.
And like every reply is like, "Who are you? Like you're still performing? What year is it now?"
Gosh.
Like as if anyone. Although I'm sure like it's basically like the like whatever pedal guy. Who is it? The green guy.
Oh yeah, Green Child.
Like what he's hoping, he's doing it on purpose, hoping that like he'll
Right.
get these
Yeah.
MAGA people that are like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna support him because he's not some sheep or whatever.
Right.
Even though they never heard
But
his comedy.
I bet he could still draw a crowd with his like whatever. He's
With
like a
his
classic
goat-
rock act or something.
Like old people, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like when freaking I don't know, some old band goes and plays somewhere.
Like I saw a billboard the other day.
Like old
for,
people have money.
Oh, who is it? Well, I saw. Dane Cook is playing one of the local casinos.
Weird, dude. I bet he could still pull a big crowd though,
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially like our age group, right?
yeah, like ex frat boys.
Like there's
just
plenty
chilling.
of bros our age. Dude, Dave Chappelle was on Home Improvement. That's awesome.
Was he?
Yeah, his
The
name-
thing with
he
Dane
was-
Cook is like people who care about comedy are like, oh, he stole jokes, but most people are like, I don't care, he's funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Jeff
He's funny to
Foxworthy,
me.
right? Like his comedy probably kind
Yeah.
of sucks, but like,
Yeah,
you know, it's lowest common denominator stuff.
I think people who don't like stand up, when they do like stand up, it's always stuff that I don't like.
Yeah.
But it's just like music, right?
Yeah,
like
for
people who
sure.
are fans of music
yeah
are
yeah.
not the ones going to like stadium shows. Yeah, that's an overgeneralization, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Although my friend just went to a Green Day Weezer show at a stadium
where was it?
at Petco Park.
Is that where
in San Diego.
that's where the Padres play, right?
Yeah.
That would be a good. I don't know. Like it's weird. Green Day. I honestly weirdly
That's
think
where
Green
I
Day-
saw Piano Man, and it was really good.
Like you saw Billy Joel, or you saw
Yeah, Billy Joel. I couldn't think of his name. I saw Billy Joel.
my brother went and saw Billy Joel when we were in high school. He paid like a freaking $100 or something to go see him,
Tight.
and it was on that. I'm pretty sure it was on that Face to Face concert with him and Elton John. You know,
Dude, I thought you meant like he was playing with Face to Face.
dude. I'd pay to go see that.
Billy
concert.
Joel and Face to Face. What a bill. What a lineup.
I would like Weezer. I don't know. I love Weezer. They're like one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
But like, if I was gonna go see a live, I like them more than I like Green Day. But I think Green Day is a more entertaining band to watch live. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
I haven't followed Weezer enough in the last like 20 years to know.
Yeah.
I feel like I would just not know like 90%
Exactly,
of songs they
because
play.
they've put out a ton of music
Yeah.
in the last 15 years that I just have not a lot of interest in. There was the one
Yeah.
CD that came out that I liked that was like had Back to the
Gratitude.
Shack on it and a couple other
I don't know.
songs that were really good.
The one with Pork and Beans, the red album.
No, it was like more recent. It was like in the last 5 years.
Did you listen to Van Weezer?
I don't know.
It's like their brand new album that just came out.
Oh, I'm sure I listened to it a little bit, but it didn't like stick with
So
me.
like it came out like in like less than a month ago, probably, I think. Like within the last
no.
month. So they had they were gonna put it out and it was supposed to be like their guitar rock album, and then the pandemic hit and they put out like an acoustic thing instead last year. And so then Van Weezer just came out this year.
Everything they put out, like he has so much. His vocals are so weird. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe it's like a whole thing across the board, because if you listen to the new Thrice tracks that have come out, like the
Very
album
little.
hasn't come out yet, but there's 3 tracks that have come out.
Hmm.
I was just listening to him this morning, and like his voice sounds really weird, and I feel
Hmm.
like everybody is processing vocals the same way nowadays, and it's like
Maybe, yeah.
there's like subtle auto tune, but
Hmm.
it's I don't know, it kind of ruins.
It's like
it
the
for me
uncanny
sometimes.
valley of auto.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, Weezer's stuff for like the last 10 years has sounded way too auto-tuned to me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Honestly, like I haven't listened to an album all the way through probably since Pinkerton.
The one I listened to was like it's got like a Sasquatch thing on the front.
Oh yeah. I know the one you're talking about. It's that painting where this dude would like, so that this guy would like get old paintings and then he would like paint monsters onto them.
Yeah.
And they use one of those for the album cover.
It's called Everything Will Be All Right in the End.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it had some good songs on it. Back to the Shack. Yeah. There was The British Are Coming. I remember that. Yeah, I listened to that quite a bit when it came out. That was 2014. But yeah, dude,
Hey,
they put out a ton of albums.
What do you guys think about those new Fender Strats?
Okay, I've seen 2 of them.
Oh, have you only? Just the blue one and the green one?
I've seen a couple of the ones that have the gradient fade on them.
Okay.
And then I saw that one that's like Charger Green or whatever.
Yeah. So I thought I would hate all of the blend ones, you know, but I don't hate the red to yellow one all that much. I think that one's kind of cool.
That's at least a more interesting color scheme.
Yeah. I super hate the white to black. Have you seen the white to black?
I'm just,
or it's like
I'm just
silver,
at 'em right
silver
now.
to black.
Yeah, it's like a silver. It's like a silver burst, which I do
hate
like.
that one.
The Player Plus, it's that Charger. Is it? I don't know if they call it Charger Green, but that's what it makes me think of.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
an amazing color, and it's
There's a
standard
P
on
bass in
couple of
that
them.
color too. It's called Cosmic Jade.
It's weird.
I guess jade is like green, right?
Jade's green, yeah.
I think it's cosmic because it's like got a little bit of a glitter to it.
A shimmer.
So the
A
HSS
shiny, a shimmer.
has.
a
So there's
shimmer.
they're called Player Plus.
Yeah.
So there's a Player Plus and then a Player Plus HSS, and it looks like, is it a wide range humbucker?
It looks like it.
It says Player Plus humbucking and noiseless pickups. I wonder if it's just because it doesn't look big. It looks like a wide range because it has like the 3 poles on each side,
Yeah.
but
It's hard to tell.
it's weird.
I
They're
think Ryan has one. We could ask him.
yeah, they're over $1,000 and they're made in Mexico,
Yeah.
which is like whatever. Like being made in Mexico doesn't mean it's worse, but it means maybe it shouldn't cost $1,000. I don't know.
It's just a weird thing because like I feel like it's not that like it's not that guitars that are made in Mexico are inherently worse. It's more that they used to only make like the like mid, like decent, not good, but like decent enough guitars in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so like you build this perception that like the Mexican made guitars are, you know, basically like beginner instruments.
Mm.
So then you're like, well, now you're charging $1,000 for a Mexican guitar. It's like that's
Which is a lot, dude.
a Mexican Fender for over like the humbucking ones over $1,000.
They're all like the
1,030.
humbucking one's like 1,200 or something.
It's 1029.
Oh,
so
1029. Oh, the
yeah.
P bass is 1049. The
Which,
jazz
why are you
bass.
that makes no sense to me either. Why are you going to sell one for $9.99 and then make the humbucking one $30 more?
It's so weird. Here's the
It's a
thing: if
weird
they were
choice.
like, the reason these are more expensive is because we're now paying our employees in Mexico more, like we're
Right.
paying them a better wage, like then I'd be on board with it. But I don't think
Like,
that's the
sick.
case. Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
it's just an odd choice, especially because like $9.99, like that's what like an
Yeah,
American
as soon
special
as-
used to be, right?
as soon as
Like
it's
$950, $900.
and even just like a subconscious like mental thing, like as soon as you get up to 4 digits, that's like a big barrier, you know,
Yeah.
because they've had other ones that are $9.99, right?
I think they had a
Other
lot of
Mexican
like
ones
the
just
deluxe
recently.
ones were like $8.99 and stuff. I don't know if there's been anything that's like right at
Yeah.
1,000 like that.
I do kind of like. Oh, you know what? The red to yellow one reminds me of the Utah Jazz uniforms
Oh yeah, those new ones
that are
They're,
like the city. Is
those
that
are
what they're
sick.
called?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
those
is a
are
cool look. Have you seen all these, Phil? Do you have them pulled up
I
on your
saw
screen?
3. No, I saw 3 earlier when you guys were talking about them.
So
One of
this
them
is
didn't
cool.
look like it had the fade. the green one that Ryan showed us.
That does not.
Yeah, the
have
green
fade.
one.
So
doesn't.
there's
It's just solid.
there's
The
some
why-
solid ones and some faded
Mm.
ones.
yeah.
Like
Okay.
So like the HSS one comes in Cosmic Jade, which is just Charger Green, basically 3-color sunburst. They have to do that, right? Like that's what.
yeah,
And then it has the 2 fade colors, like blue to white, and then it is just a silver burst. The silver one on that one is just a burst. It's not.
oh, there's
actually
an
a
actual
fade
silver burst.
on the HSS one, yeah, and it's called
weird.
silver burst.
That's
And
so
then
weird.
on the 3 single coil ones, yeah, it's got 3-tone sunburst, white.
Dude, but look at the Nashville Telecaster
Mhm.
in that it's called aged candy apple red.
Hmm.
I bet that color looks sick in person.
I would call that burnt orange if I were not
Aged
told.
candy apple. It looks like copper, right?
Yeah.
It looks like the copper ones, but I'm guessing it's
Yeah.
more like
It probably is
almost like browned red, which is I guess copper.
Oh, it's bound. No,
but it's not like those
no.
penny ones that they used to have, like because the original
Man, that's
or the
it is-
performer
is the body
series.
is the body bound or is it just like a
No, it's just the reflection.
like a reflection? Because
But there is a
or is
subtle,
it bound? I don't know. Now that you
No,
mention
I don't
it,
think
not
it
bound.
is.
It is not bound. There's a subtle fleck to it.
bound to fall in love.
I don't like Nashville Telecasters.
There's a little bit of a sparkle.
Yeah, it's a candy apple. It's candy.
Mm. I am digging that color.
Yeah,
It's
candy
cool,
apple
right?
red is like the way they made that color is they spray gold underneath and then spray red on top of it, right? Like that's like a classic Fender deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you follow that dude, Jason something on Instagram, who's like
Jason.
I don't know his name. It's Jason something, but I think his handle is like J whatever. But he does all the painting for the. I don't know if he does all of it, but he does a lot of the painting for the Fender Custom Shop stuff. And he'll like
Oh, okay.
he just live streams himself like painting guitar bodies.
Serious?
Yeah, it's freaking cool. So he did this thing where he did like he showed candy apple red and candy apple green and I think another candy apple color, but he showed like the difference between if you do a silver base or a gold base, like how it looks.
Yeah.
It's freaking cool. And he does all kinds of stuff. I gotta remember his name. I'll try to think of it or try to find it, but anyway, if you don't follow him, you should. And I know you don't know his name, so that makes it tough. But
Jay Nelson.
Jay Nelson, yeah,
And his
yeah.
Instagram
I think
is
his name is
JN
Jason
Color.
Nelson. Yeah, yeah. It's freaking cool. It's fun to watch, and he just like talks all like real chill, and like he's got the little waterfall going in the background. It's tight.
That is tight.
Oh,
It's tight butthole.
hey, I know this is not our vibe at all,
You don't know my.
but did you the recall? Gavin Newsom is not recalled.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
I have no opinion.
We
I'm a
know Cole-
libertarian. Did you guys know that?
no, you're
Do
not.
you have no opinion?
That's
Dude.
just
So-
what conservatives say when they don't want to get yelled at.
What do they say?
Libertarian.
I'm
I'm a libertarian. That
so if
makes
you
me
scroll
more
down on
angry
that
than
page,
conservative though.
there's
Oh yeah, I'd much rather
there's a
have someone be
video-
like hardcore. Yeah.
There's a video of that red Telecaster, and it's more red than it looks in the pictures, and it looks
Mm.
freaking cool.
The orangish one.
Yeah, what it looks like is almost like
Oh,
a
aged.
metallic. It almost looks like a metallic Fiesta red, which is
Oh,
freaking dope.
that's awesome. They are interesting. Like I kind of like that they chose. There's just a couple color choices on each one. Butterscotch
Yeah.
blonde Telecasters are the most boring things on the planet.
People
course they had to
love
do one
that,
of those.
dude.
Dude, people freaking love it, and it is the dumbest. It's like they forgot to paint it. You know, it's like it just has primer on it or something. I hate it. It's such a bad color.
Yeah, it's so
it looks
boring.
like, yeah, just
It's
like,
people like it because it's like that's what it looked like in 1951,
yeah, exactly.
52.
Like, you know what else was going on in 1951? Some pretty
Yeah.
not cool stuff.
There were no cool colors, if you know what I mean.
Whoa.
Colors.
In
Do you want to hear something crazy?
51.
My wife and I,
My
Lacey,
wife.
we were talking about
And
this the other day.
I-
Her great grandfather. Guess what year he was born? So just one great. Her dad's dad. Her grandpa's dad.
1870.
That's close. I mean, you knew it was gonna be a long time ago, right?
I mean, I assumed, yeah. What's
Yeah.
that, 150 years ago?
Yeah. For two
For
for
four
three generations,
I guess.
He was born
She's
in
like fully grown.
1855.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's old.
He was born when his dad was 73 years old.
His dad was 70? So the
Yeah.
double great
Or
was
no.
born in the 1700s?
Lacey's grandpa
Oh.
was born when her great grandpa was 73
I was
years
gonna
old.
say,
And then he
like,
had three more
dang.
kids after that.
Yeah, of course it did.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that is nuts. That's a lot of wow.
Yeah. He had 10 kids with his first wife and then got remarried and had 4 more kids. Dude.
She
So,
had them too. The wives had them too.
not everything was better back then. I mean, they
That is true.
participated. Like having 14 kids, that is objectively not a good thing. I'm just
It's
gonna.
bad.
I know
it's a
as
bad idea.
I know as you know, our resident
As the crow
AOG
flies.
LDSer, that seems blasphemous of me to say, but that's the truth.
Hmm.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Okay, so if you could have one of these Player Plus guitars, what would it be?
I probably would go for the P bass in the green.
Yeah, dang it, that's what I was gonna say too.
Nope, too late.
Okay, let's say you
Yeah,
can't
I
get
already
P
picked it.
bass
So
in the
good.
green. Although
looks
I
really
don't want
good.
that P bass because I don't know. I
Oh, it's
just
active?
don't want a PJ bass.
Does it have a?
Oh, it must because it's got
It's
a
got a little
ton of
battery
knobs going
compartment.
on it.
Oh, it's just like active EQ. It looks like.
Yeah, that's true.
So you
You're
could
right.
probably you could run it without it.
I changed my mind. I don't want that. You can have it. I'm gonna go for.
I don't want it either now.
I'm gonna go for the Nashville Telly in that faded candy apple red, aged candy apple red.
That is pretty.
No,
cool.
that's what I was gonna do.
You still can. You guys can take my ideas.
It wasn't your
I-
idea. Phil had it on his own accord.
Okay, here's what I want.
We
I
can
want-
have the same idea.
I want the, but this is a different idea because what I want is the Player Plus Nashville Telecaster, but I want the
But
maple neck from the Player Plus Stratocaster.
you want the maple neck? I think all the necks are maple.
But like
Yep.
the maple fretboard.
Sorry, the maple
Oh.
fretboard and the Strat headstock. That's what I want.
It is
I
interesting
see.
because you can get a maple fretboard on one of the on the Butterscotch Nashville Telly. Like, why do they limit the choices? Like, they're making a bunch of maple necks, right? Like, who cares
Yeah.
which ones they bolted onto?
You know
Oh,
what? Wait a
this
minute.
is weird though.
What? What's weird?
It's not that weird. It's kind of weird. If you look at the Opal Spark Telly
The- it
Nashville
looks like-
Telecaster, it
what does
has
it
a
look
Pau
like?
Pharaoh in the picture, but it says
Yeah, I was just
maple
noticing that.
fingerboard.
But the only choice
It looks
is
like
maple.
a metallic Daphne blue.
I was thinking it was like like Lake Placid blue. It kind of looks. It's like a mix
Placid's
between
darker though, right?
Yeah, it's like a mix between Daphne blue because it's darker than Daphne blue.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is, yeah, it
Smart.
is very metallic. In fact, I wonder if are they all kind of metallic?
Opal Spark
finishes?
is a stupid name for a color
It's
because
so dumb,
it
dude.
tells you nothing about it. Like if you saw the
Yeah.
name Opal Spark, you would never guess what it looked like.
Well, especially because like, yeah, they have so many colors that are so recognizable. Maybe they
Yeah.
do that to like protect. Maybe they're
Maybe.
maybe most of their known colors they use on American models or something like that.
Or maybe they're like, we can't call it Daphne Blue Sparkle because, that's a thing already.
Yeah.
Or this red to yellow is called
It's
Tequila
weird.
Sunrise, which is also stupid.
It's very dumb.
It's another tequila.
The gradient that goes from black to
sunrise.
white, the gradient from black to white is called silver smoke.
I think it would be way cooler if they. I know I said this earlier to you guys, but I didn't say it on the podcast. I'm going to say it now. If they did the fade gradient thing at like a 45-degree angle, so it
Yeah.
starts on the one horn, and then like on the arm contour, you have like the gradient going across that big part of the body instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it's all hidden under the pick guard.
Yes,
it
most
is.
of I
It
was
is
just
at
gonna
an
say-
angle though. Well, no, it's just straight across.
No, it's straight across.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah,
straight up.
that's weird. Well, yeah, because you can see it on the back of the body.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a tiny bit of an angle, but I want it to be.
Yeah,
like,
so
at a
we were talking
severe
about this
angle.
earlier that like on a Strat, the pick guard just covers up the majority of it.
Yeah, it covers up a ton of it.
So like the whole part of the guitar that you can see, which is like the bottom bout, is all just one color.
Well, that's how the Telecasters look too, though. It's like the one like top
Oh yeah,
like
totally.
horn part is a different color, and then all the like fade part is hidden by the controls and the plate, and then
Yeah,
you just see the butt is like a different color. It's
bad
weird.
look.
I hate it. I hate it. I freaking hate it.
I mean, it's not a bad look. I honestly do like the
Yeah,
red
it's
to yellow
fine.
one.
I think it's kind of cool
It's
too.
really cool looking.
I wish it was matte though, like a unglossed matte finish.
On the body.
Yeah, like how those.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen like the Charvels that are like the Charvel Dinky
Well,
ones?
you
that
think
were,
I
like-
haven't seen the Charvels, Aaron?
I'm just saying, like that would be freaking cool to me.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
Is Alder?
that's how the Jim Root Telecaster was like that. And I really liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Now we're
Yeah.
talking.
All dirt guitars are really nice in my opinion.
Alder guitars.
Oh, I thought you
All
said
dirt
all
guitars
dirt
are-
guitars.
All
I was like, what are dirt?
dirt guitars.
Alder
Fenders.
All dirt.
guitars.
Yeah, all dirt guitars.
I mean, I like some Alder guitars, but
no.
I like the newer stuff too.
No. All Fenders guitars, all dirt guitars.
Alder guitars aren't inherently better, Phil. We already talked about this. Just because
Yeah.
they're Alder.
Being Alder doesn't make you smarter.
Quite the
Or does
opposite
it?
sometimes.
I want to bring that up.
Anyway.
I don't say that enough anymore.
Dur. I heard that you're not supposed to say that anymore
You used to say it.
because it's ableist. And so I believe that, and I don't say it anymore. But go ahead, Phil. Do you?
Dude, I'm an
live your-
ableist. What are
live
you,
your
like on
truth,
Kane's side?
bro?
I'm on Abel's side.
I'm a Canist, dude. I'm a Sethist.
So
You wouldn't even know enough about him.
I was talking. So to
I think now's a
my
good time
students
to
today-
wrap it up.
Okay, one last thing. To my
Wrap it up.
my students today, we were talking about
Uh-huh.
social commentary, and then I said I put a survey together of social issues, and
Uh-huh.
I let them give me the issues, and then I put a huge exhaustive list together and said,
Yeah,
okay, which
yeah.
ones do you care about? Well, one of the
Mhm.
some kid put ageism.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're looking at we're looking at like a graph of what all the kids said, I care about this, I don't care, if they didn't click it, they don't care about it. And ageism got the least votes out of like 40 different things.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Like anything that you can imagine that's a social issue is on this list. Ageism was on there, and 2 kids out of, 110
Mhm.
clicked it. And somebody goes, "What is ageism?" And I go, "Well, it's like racism, but instead of, race, it's old people." And I go, "Well, sure." And they're like, "But what does that even mean?" And I go, "Well, like if you say that, if you see an old person walking towards their car, and you're like, ooh, that person should not be driving, you are making an assumption because they're old." And,
Right.
and they're like, "That's dumb." And I go, "Well, no, like if you look at somebody and you make an assumption about them based on the way they look, don't you think that's a problem? And
Wait, they're
like,
saying it's
no.
dumb to be ageist, or it's dumb for people to think it's bad to be ageist?
Yes, like that. There should be no problem judging an old person. Like, and I was
They're like, well,
ageism
it's
is
okay
like-
if it's true.
that's
Yeah.
what they were like. That's what they were saying. And I was like, but we're talking about before the person drives.
Yeah.
You size them up based on your
You're
prior experience
prejudging.
with other old people. What would we say about that if it were a race instead of age? And they're like, no. They're
No,
like,
you definitely don't want old people driving in a race,
they were like
like a
They
drag
were-
race.
they were arguing with me really
an
hard.
old
They're
people
like,
drag
no,
race?
completely fine.
I would
And I
like to
said-
see old people in RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes,
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Here's the
I
weird
said,
thing, though, is
"You
like,
guys, I'm
of all
it's
the
feeling-
isms,
kind of ageist in this room right now.
of all the isms, isn't ageism like one of the ones that probably holds more, like just statistically speaking?
Well,
Like,
but
they're
also
very
the good thing
real-
about ageism
like-
is like everybody will suffer from ageism at some point.
But also
Or
everybody
they'll
will
die
suffer
unless they
from
die
like
before.
there are a lot of, because it isn't only old people, right? Like some ageism is like old people
these
saying
are
like,
too
oh,
young,
millennials
whatever.
this and
Yeah.
Generation Z that.
I mean, millennials are old people now, but
Yes, but like there are a lot of characteristics that really do apply to teenagers, for example, kind of across
Yeah.
the board, even though there are exceptions. And there are very real things that happen to your body in your 80s that make you a less good driver, you know.
yeah, a worse,
Right?
worse driver.
Less good.
Let's good.
Oh, just because you got a
That's
master's
good.
degree in English, you think you can tell me how to talk good?
oh,
I
that's
don't.
good,
Well, that's good.
guys. I know it's old, but thanks for friendship.
Thanks.
Thanks for friendship.
Smile.